Okay, so we will start now. Yesterday we studied different structures like case structure, event structure, and someone has suggested to give event structure a review today. So I will try to cover that, but we will start with our flow right now. I want to cover shift register, and I want to give you an exercise to do as well. So that I want to make sure that you have understood the basics completely. Once you know these basics, it will be easier for you to implement RF communication codes or any other type of codes that you want to implement, because these are the rock bottom basics of LabVIEW programming. Tomorrow if you want to write a anything related to 5G code, but if you don't know the basic like what is a for loop and a while loop, or how to use a case structure, you are not going to be able to do it. So my focus for 2-3 days was to establish your basic principles about LabVIEW firmly. So next exercise about the weather station is going to be just about that, so that the basics in your head are clear. I just want to touch a brief topic before that. It's called shift registers. So say for example, a data is generated in one iteration of a work loop, and I want to pass it on to the next iteration. So how do I do that? So this can be done using shift registers. Okay, so open your LabVIEWs, and I will also open mine, and I'll go slow, so try to follow me. Open a blank VI. Again, go to structures and place a while loop. Then go to numeric and place an addition node inside the while loop. So take the output of this iteration terminal and wire it to one of the inputs of the addition node. Okay, everybody with me so far? Then take the output of this addition terminal and wire it to the frame of the while loop. So now, whatever data is coming of this addition node is going to enter the while loop, meaning it's going to be in the memory of your computer. So now, wherever this block was created, now this blue block, just right click on it, and you will see something this sort opening, and there will be an option of replace with shift register. Click on it. You'll see shift register created over here and here. That's it, our shift registers are ready. Everybody able to do this? Okay. So if you look at the left hand side of this shift register, there is again a wiring option available over here. Drag and drop that wire to the addition terminal second. Everybody done? Great. Now, of course, we need to wire something to the conditional terminal. I am going to create a control over here. So the stop button is created now. Now create a numeric indicator on the front panel. Numeric indicator. Wire this numeric indicator to the output of addition. also place a maybe waveform chart.
How to connect the output of numeric indicator?
This one? I've just placed a waveform chart on the front panel. On the front panel, right click, front panel, right click, there is an option called graph, and then in that, first one is the waveform chart. Now I am already in the middle of my code, and I realize, okay, while loop is not the thing that I want. For loop is much more suited for my application. Now do I start from scratch? No. There is one other option that I wanted to show you. Right click on the while loop, and there will be an option called replace with for loop. And now your code gets replaced with for loop. So you don't have to start from scratch. But again, you have to follow the rules needed for the for loop. You don't require the stop button, so I'm going to delete it. You need to wire something to this terminal, end terminal. I'm going to wire, say maybe 10. Now we are going to create an array as well. Okay? I don't need the numeric right now. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to create another tunnel over here. Everybody with me so far? All of you were able to replace the while loop with for loop? Create another branching tunnel to the for loop, like this. And then simply wire the tunnel's output to the waveform chart. Everybody with me so far? Should I run my code now? Because the shift register is not initialized. Now it is initialized. You can see the difference. It was black before, now it is blue. Because you are wired up integer to it. Had it been double, it would have been orange instead of black. Now David is wired. Should we run our codes now? Okay, so what here is going to happen is first 0 is going to come out of the addition, and then it is going to be passed on to here. Then again in the second iteration, here 0 is going to come out, but here 1 is going to come out. So 0 plus 1 will get 1. So then 1 is going to be sent to the next iteration. So here 1 will come and this will be 2. So the output will be 3. And then 3 will be sent to the next iteration. And then addition will happen between 3 and 4. So highlight execution on your code and see how it runs. It should show a graph escalating rapidly. I'm going to come to that. Right now we have added only one shift register, so only one value is needed. So if you got the graph escalating like this, that means your code is correct. highlight execution to understand the working better. How many of you were able to do this? Excellent, so many of you. So let's say now if I want iteration for count for two iterations. On the shift register, there is an option, add element. So here you see stack being created. So now this second one will have iteration of two iterations before. So you can go on adding whatever number of data that you want, you just stack the registers and you will get those iterations and output. But one thing to remember, whatever you put in the registers is going to take up your RAM memory. So you have to make sure that during programming it doesn't crash. So generally people use it for 4 or 5 times, otherwise they come up with some other method, like temporarily writing it to an Excel sheet or some other form wherein you can extract the data without causing memory problems.
Can you repeat this question?
To add register, okay, right click on the register, shift register, and then you will see add element.
Add element, yes.
So now I have data for 3 iterations, 3 previous iterations.
So if you click on the right, it gets added on left.
Sorry?
If you click on the right, shift register.
You can click on left as well, because इथे एकदाच ह्याच इटरेशनचा डेटा जाणार आहे. प्रीवियस इटरेशनचा इथेच अवेलेबल पाहिजे तुम्हाला. You can click here also and it will say add here only.
Sir, you can generate random now.
Sorry?
You can generate random.
Random what? Yes. Yes. Okay, so that was shift register. So similar to subroutine in a text-based language, there is something called a survey. Say for example, some part of my code needs to be repeated again and again and again. A sub-VI can be created. If we have time, I will cover the sub-VI topic. It's not necessary right now. We have some other important topics to cover. So I'll proceed right now, but that option is also available over here. I'll just give you a quick demo. Say for example, this is my code and it needs to be repeated at various locations in my code. I will just select that part of the code. And then here, just a second. In edit, you will see create sub-VI option, and then your sub-VI is created. So it just appears as a block. Now you can copy paste it anywhere you want. You can call it in some other program as well. It's like a subroutine. This is especially helpful when complex applications are being used, the code is repetitive, or you want to clean up your block diagram. We have done some small codes, but codes are usually pretty big in LabVIEW. So you need to understand how the flow works. You need to be able to troubleshoot. The readability of the code also increases.
Sir, what is the use of VI?
Sorry?
What is the use of sub-VI?
That's what I told right now. If you want that code to use somewhere else also, if that code is going to be repetitive, then you can create a sub-VI. It's similar to subroutine. Okay? And another advantage of creating a sub-VI is my code is now much more readable. If I had many other things over here, then that for loop might have caused problems for during my troubleshooting or something like that. Now it has become much more readable. But the main purpose is to reuse the code wherever required. So disabled as such. Go to edit and create a subview. That may be disabled because you haven't selected any code. Select all of your code and then go to edit. Select all of your code. Now you have selected your code. So, okay. So I have a problem statement for you. Now this is going to test how much you have understood over the last 2-3 days. Okay. Say for example, I have a weather station. And we do not have a physical sensor as of now, so we are just going to use a numeric control as an input to enter temperature. And based upon whatever the user enters, if the value is less than 0, it should glow a blue LED and freeze warning should display on it. If the temperature is between 0 and 40, it should glow a green LED and no warning should be displayed on it. And if it is above 40, red LED should glow and it should show stroke warning or heat warning on it. And this should iterate every 1 second. Most of the things we have covered previously. Now we have to use all your knowledge to implement this code. I'll give you a hint. Use a while loop and case structure to implement your logic. One more thing I want to show you. Since now you have to compare two values. If you go into the code and if you go into this comparison, you will see bunch of options like greater than, equal to, less than, not equal. So whatever two inputs that you give, for example, if I select this greater, so whatever I give to X, it will compare with the second input Y. And if it is greater, then true output is going to come. So output is going to be Boolean, true or false. If it is greater, then true. If it is lower, then false. If you place less than node, then it will compare X and Y, and depending upon it, you will get either true or false. So you can use that. Sorry? Right. So now it's up to you how to use different structures, logic, and that's what I want to know, how much you have learned or understood. Or rather than how good I am in teaching you guys. Has everybody understood the problem statement? Any problem with the statement? If anybody wants to refer this slide, please take a picture because I am going to change the slide now. Your code and GUI might look something like this, but there is an inherent bug in this code that I am showing on the screen. If any one of you is able to identify and solve that bug, I have a small token of appreciation for